Welcome to Hi Audio's YouTube channel. Enjoy this chapter. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. The Steward Demonic Emperor Chapter 17, Veiled Dragon Pavilion. As the three left Cai Manor, Captain Pang and Luo Yunchang were trembling and even looked back now and then for fear of Cai Rong having changed his mind. Only Zhuo Fan was calm. Yet a bit of rage still existed in his heart. "Young miss, is there anywhere else we can go?" Zhuo Fan asked in a cold tone. Her eyes turned misty as she shook her head. Captain Pang also sighed in sorrow. Taking a deep breath, Zhuo Fan gnashed his teeth and promised himself to run the Cai clan into the ground one day. He was just a step away from providing a safe haven for the Luo siblings. Yet Cai clan's father and son ruined it all. If the day came that the Cai clan was ruined because they offended Zhuo Fan, Cai Rong would be twisting inside with regret. But that was the future. Now Zhuo Fan was pissed. His hopes were dashed, and he had to spend more time to look after the siblings. Zhuo Fan mumbled for a while, then said, "Young miss, do you know what are the 7 noble houses?" "What? Where did you hear that from?" Luo Yunchang was in a panic as she watched Zhuo Fan. It was as if he knew a heavenly secret. But recalling the fantastic events that happened the past days, she relaxed. Captain Pang also looked oddly at Luo Yunchang. This was the first time he heard of them. Pursing her lips for a long time, Luo Yunchang finally spoke in a solemn tone. "Since we lived in Cloud Manor and had no dealings with them, not knowing them is normal. But we are now wandering outside. If you ever meet someone from the 7 noble houses, you must avoid him, even if it's a dog." Captain Pang was shocked. This was his first time hearing Luo Yunchang speaking in such a heavy tone, as if she was talking about horrifying people. Yet, a proud girl like her, even if from a fallen clan, did not speak near as highly about the Cai clan. The warning seemed to go right past Zhuo Fan as he retained his calm. Be it Luo clan or Cai clan, regardless of how strong they are only mortal clans. But in Tianyu Empire, there are 7 officials who earned the imperial family's approval and can stand next to the emperor. Their power and territory are above all mortal clans. Fighting them is like going against the empire. What? This world has clans that can stand next to the imperial family? Captain Pang's face contorted in fear. Luo Yunchang nodded with extreme seriousness. Every clan knows these 7 families must not be touched. I am telling you this so that you all must remember to be careful. Is the Sun clan one of them? Interrupted Zhuo Fan. Stunned for a second, Luo Yunchang shook her head. "Why do you ask?" "Yeah, brother Zhuo, if she was of the 7 houses, then young miss would have stopped you from smacking her." Captain Pang snickered. Since Luo Yunchang didn't stop him, then she agreed in silence. As if she was found out, Luo Yunchang reddened and glared at him. In fact, seeing Sun Yufei slapped was the most refreshing event for Luo Yunchang. Since Captain Pang could tell how glad the girl was, how could Zhuo Fan not? But Zhuo Fan's vision was much further. Even if they had a falling out with the Sun clan, he had to understand the other's background. Then is the Sun clan part of the 7 houses? What made you come to that conclusion? Luo Yunchang was feeling nervous for some reason. Her only hope right now was that Zhuo Fan was joking around to scare her, but his next words were spoken with a straight face. That girl raved how she'll let us see the might of the 7 noble houses. How can this be? Did we offend 7 noble houses people? Luo Yunchang paled and her mind blanked, watching Zhuo Fan with empty eyes. Captain Pang was even worse. His heart froze up. At this moment, the world seemed to have vanished, making way for silence. Zhuo Fan, quick, We need to apologize to young Miss Sun. Luo Yunchang pulled him to Cai Manor, but Zhuo Fan was stuck like a rock. If we go, we'll die, Zhuo Fan said coldly. Luo Yunchang froze and her eyes glazed with helplessness. Zhuo Fan's words were ear-piercing, but they all spoke of the harsh truth. If offending the 7 noble houses was so easily settled, no one would have regarded them with such fear. Brother Zhuo, what do we do? They were all surprised to find Luo Yunhai speaking as he gazed at Zhuo Fan with unshakable faith. Not even Zhuo Fan foresaw it. A kid that everyone overlooked was now watching him with such big and innocent eyes. Wasn't I a stinkin' slave? Squinted Zhuo Fan. Big bro Zhuo, we, brother and sister, are grateful for this new chance at life. You're our greatest benefactor, my dear brother. My dear brother-in-law, please save us once again. Yunhai, don't talk nonsense. Luo Yunhai glared with a red face, yet her eyes couldn't help sneaking a glance at Zhuo Fan. They were alive thanks to him. Despite being inferior in his own eyes, Zhuo Fan's abilities made others have a whole new level of respect for him. This was the reason why she appointed him as the clan's steward. For the rebuilding of the clan, men like him were needed. Zhuo Fan saw Luo Yunhai's imploring eyes and laughed inside. This kid is a clan's son after all, haughty, but also clever to see another's talent. How adorable, moreover, helping the Luo clan was a given for him. Does Windgaze City have men from the 7 houses? Yes, the Veiled Dragon Pavilion, the #1 treasure-appraising clan among the 7 houses. Its wealth knows no bounds. Then let's return to the tavern and go to Veiled Dragon Pavilion tomorrow. Zhuo Fan ruffled Luo Yunhai's head. What for? Luo Yunchang rushed to ask. Allies, Zhuo Fan's curt reply came. The others were stunned. Why would one of the 7 noble houses, the Veiled Dragon Pavilion, ally with a run-down clan? That was more of the wish of a hopeless loser. The Steward Demonic Emperor, Chapter 18, Long Kui. A tens of meters tall ancient building stood in the eastern part of Windgaze City. Its size overwhelmed any from approaching to the point that not a single person dared get within 100 meters of it. 2 guards in golden garb stood at the gates. Their aura gave off the impression of veterans of imperial bodyguards. Despite standing still, their eyes roamed everywhere, staring daggers at any who dared match their gaze. But in this place, 4 people suddenly appeared. Peak of key condensation, Zhuo Fan muttered as he walked in front of the siblings and Captain Pang. While he had no problem facing such imposing guards, the 3 stiffened to the point they almost forgot to walk. Stop! The guards barred Zhuo Fan's path. Veiled Dragon Pavilion is not a place for you to wander about. I ask that you send word of Cloud Manor Luo clan's young miss, Luo Yunchang. I have arrived to have something appraised. Zhuo Fan's eyes didn't even look at them. The 2 exchanged a look of surprise. Windgaze City didn't lack people who came here to see the appraiser, but all were fearful and fawned over them when talking. This was a first, though, meeting such a smug kid. We've never heard of you. Our appraiser can't meet with nobodies, spoke a guard harshly. Luo Yunchang lowered her head. One of the 7 noble houses, Veiled Dragon Pavilion, would never pay attention to an ant-like clan. They weren't even worthy to speak with them, not to mention become allies. Zhuo Fan. Luo Yunchang pulled Zhuo Fan, but before she could finish, he shook her off. That is the appraiser's concern to see us. Try and act as the servants you are. What did you say? The guards were outraged, releasing their full aura. The Luo clan members felt their breathing become heavier as they retreated back. Only Zhuo Fan stood in his place and roared, "Is this how the 7 noble houses treats its guests? Humph, truly renowned." "Stop." A girl in white came out to meet them. The guards bowed. "Young miss, these people are looking for trouble." "I heard what you said, and it is you who are in the wrong. All who come are guests. Make sure to show respect." The girl berated them in a cold tone, then smiled at Zhuo Fan. "Mister, we meet again." "It's you?" Zhuo Fan and Captain Peng were startled. She was the one that quarreled with the stall owner. But things were different now. Zhuo Fan sneered inside. "I didn't expect for young miss to be from the Veiled Dragon Pavilion. Please forgive my lack of respect." The girl nodded with a smile. "I am Long Kui, only a small appraiser here. I wonder why Mister has come to us." "To be honest, I am Luo clan steward Zhuo Fan. Because a terrible misfortune plagues us, I accompanied my young miss to the Veiled Dragon Pavilion, Tianyu Empire's #1 appraising noble house, to sell the clan's treasure." Eyes flashing, Long Kui smiled when she saw Luo Yunchang nodding, then turned back to Zhuo Fan. "Then I will do my best to examine your treasure. Please follow me." She showed them in, to the shock of the guards. Was that young miss friend? No way. How can young miss have such a dirt-poor friend? She must be doing it for the treasure. Once it fails to meet her expectations, they will be kicked out. Then, he. We will teach them a lesson they won't ever forget, especially that rude Zhuo Fan. But what if the item is to her liking? That's impossible. Just look at them. How can these wretched people have anything that is worth more than black jade? Ha ha ha. The other also jeered, rubbing his hand in eagerness to vent all his energy. On the other side, Long Kui took them to a flourishing room and smiled once they were seated. "I wonder what treasure did you bring? Please take it out." Zhuo Fan grinned. This girl thinks herself above others, but is quite shrewd as well, he was certain. She knew exactly what went on at the entrance, but let the guards test them if they were worthy of her time. If they showed any sign of giving up, her current attitude would have been unyielding. Despite how cunning she was far too naive when up against the devilish Zhuo Fan. Whoosh! Zhuo Fan placed a scroll with countless images before her, which immediately caught her full attention. Taking it in her hands, Long Kui took careful and long looks at the contents. Luo Yunchang and Captain Peng were in a bit of a shock. This drawing was something Zhuo Fan made last night. When they saw it, they only had one thought. What is this thing? Yet from the looks of Long Kui's expression, it must be worth a fortune. "Mr. Zhuo Fan, how much do you want?" Long Kui placed the scroll back and watched Zhuo Fan with a hardened gaze. "Young Miss Long is an appraiser, and I saw your skill in the market. Please be the first to state a price." Zhuo Fan chuckled. Biting her lip, Long Kui noticed from his eyes that this man was also knowledgeable. She couldn't swindle him. How does 20,000 spirit stones sound? What, 20,000? Luo Yunchang stood up in shock. If you'd take Cloud Manor's wealth when it was at its peak, you'd get 50,000. Yet Zhuo Fan messed around with a brush and came up with 20. Captain Peng was dumbstruck. Long Kui couldn't restrain her disdain for the two. "Humph, I am a madam while you are a pack of stray cats." But when she saw the silent yet smiling Zhuo Fan, she turned serious. The true expert is this steward. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more content.